Good morning. It's day 16 out of a 180 day challenge. I was just thinking, spurred on by this video that I watched this morning about my life a little bit. And when I was 16 years old, I was working at a horse boarding stable. It was called Once Upon a Horse in Eagle, Idaho. They boarded like hunter, jumper, dressage type horses. And I was like a maintenance guy and just groundskeeper. I made like, I think it's $8 an hour was my starting wage. Maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was either $7.50 or $8 an hour, and I think I got bumped up after like a year of working there to like $8.50. And I did all sorts of stuff. Bucked hay, took care of horses, like fed horses, fixed anything, whatever they asked me to fix. I just said yes. I know how to fix this and would do my best to take care of it. And one afternoon, it was an autumn afternoon. I know it was autumn because I was raking up leaves at the boss's house after a full summer of work, had the terrifying prospect of going back to high school on my mind. I think I was 15 at the time and was going to go back to, whatever it was, ninth or 10th grade that year. Well, it had to be 9th or 10th grade. I didn't make it much past that. And anyways, I was miserable. I hated this job. I hated it. I loved the work sometimes. I loved the labor and everything. If I had to have a job, I liked it, but I just couldn't. I was like, I didn't know what my future could hold. The idea of college sounded sucky. The idea, everything sounded like it sucked. And I was just like, what can I do every single day? I was working 60 hours a week at the time through the summer and was just fed up with it. And I was like, what can I do every single day that's awesome? And I had just kind of conceptualized the idea that I could be a business owner of some sort. So I was like, what kind of business owner would I want to be? And I was like, what do I like to do? I was like, I like to hike, I like to hunt, I want to skydive, I want to river raft. I love the outdoors, I loved adventure. And I was just like, what could I possibly do? And I was thinking about what an amazing state I grew up in the mountains of Idaho and everything. And I was like, the only thing I can ever imagine doing is being out in the mountains all day, every day. How could I turn that into into something that supported my life? And I realized I could buy a piece of property and make an adventure guiding business. I was like, I could be an Adventure Guide Idaho. And I thought of this idea, and it was the first time in my life that I felt like true relief from the crushing anxiety of having to enter into the world. Everything besides just basically being a vagrant and traveling around the world was my only other thing that I saw prospect or hope in. And so I saw this, and it was like, I realized you could have the life you wanted. You just had to create it. And it was like this amazing eureka moment. And it's all I've ever wanted since then. And the motivation behind talking about this is I watched this video on a Diary of a CEO, where Steven, the host of that show, was interviewing Casey Neistat, and he was talking about how he never had a plan B. If all else failed, he would have had to work in the kitchen or something, making $8 an hour. And I thought, that is so exactly how I have lived and intend to live the entire rest of my life. There is no plan B. Like, it is drive forward with the goal in mind, acquire a beautiful piece of wilderness property and make it a sanctuary of sport and adventure and fun and wilderness and hunting and food procurement and processing. And that is all the dream has ever been. It's all it ever will be. There is not plan B. There's been tons of different versions of plan A and how to get to plan A, but it was always why I did everything. I wanted to build a construction company when I was 18 so I could make enough money to buy this property and do all this stuff. And then, the only other kind of plan A that snuck in there is, or a plan B or whatever you want to call it, is I was like, before I do anything, I need to travel the world and go on my own young man's grand adventure. And I did that, and it was the best decision I ever made. It was awesome. Went through 12, 13, 14, 15 different countries, camping and adventuring and doing whatever it is you do when you're in your early 20s and have no schedule, no agenda, no job, and are in foreign wild environments. So but all of that was always with the end in mind. Sometimes the location changed, from wanting to do this adventure guide thing in the Idaho mountains to maybe it's going to be a yoga retreat in Costa Rica, whatever it was at different points in my life, or something down in Australia or New Zealand. The location's never been what it is. The idea of a community-based business or property that has adventure, it's always been the same thing. And there's no plan B. There's different ways of making it to plan A, but what's plan B? I just stay a health insurance salesman for the next 10 or 20 years? Not literally, but no way. That's insanity. It's fucking craziness. I just get some other corporate-based job and make 120, 150, 200,000, whatever the number is. It's not enough. Just drive. I'm commuting to work right now. Just drive to work every day and just do bullshit inside an office under fluorescent lights. Shit that no one is ever going to remember, or you're never going to really move the needle on anyone else's life. Yeah, okay, maybe you help them out, you get them a great health insurance plan. There's plenty of other people out there that can do that. They can find health insurance if I don't exist. They will still get covered with health insurance. If someone is, completely out of line with what they want in life and living, a modern, standard American lifestyle, and they come to this amazing healing wilderness property and learn how to live more in line with, nature and what they actually want in the world. Now that's an actual lasting, imprintable effect that makes generational change for the better in the world. Like, you have to have something that you're driving towards, or you're just dead. You're not living. There has to, maybe that's just me, but in my mind, there has to be a plan A, and you have to just keep driving towards it no matter what. We all have a calling or a thing in our life that we want, whether it doesn't have to be grand in any way, shape, or form. It can be to have a family and just raise the most amazing kids. It can be to, rise to the top of the corporate ladder and achieve something. If that's, plenty of people love that lifestyle. They love going out to fancy dinners and wearing suits and having nice, dope watches and status and all of that. Like, that's fine if that's your why and that's what you're really going for. But there still can't be a plan B. If this fails, then I'll just fall back and I'll do this forever. No, there's a million different things that you do in life to support what you want and to have money and the economic power to survive. There's a million things that you do along the way, but the end goal never changes. You got to drive towards something and never let up, even if it takes forever. Even if I never get there, I'll always be working towards the same thing. I want to have a beautiful piece of wilderness property that has the capacity to have lots of different people on it, and hopefully numerous different houses for my family members. And I want to be able to economically, at least support my parents. It'd be nice if I could make it happen before my grandparents pass away, but they're in their mid to late 80s, so I need to step on the gas if that's going to happen. And I just want to be surrounded by individuals that want the same thing, want to be healthy, happy, and having fun all the time. And I just won't settle for anything else. You can't settle. I've always felt that way, and that video with Casey Neistat was just such an invigorating reminder of just certain personality types. You're just never going to be happy if you settle. I mean, I made it like 6 months at this new health insurance thing before I was like, I knew from the moment I started doing it, there's only a certain amount of time this is going to be sustainable before it starts becoming actual torture. Being inside an office, being inside, not doing fun, adventurous shit, for me, is always going to be torture. It's never going to be anything less than actual psychological warfare against my happiness and myself, my true self that, wants what it wants. You can't argue with who you are at the core. There's something in you, innate, that you're born with that just wants certain things. It could want structure and comfort and security and like social network and everything that comes from work. That could be what you want. I'm not knocking anyone else's life or trajectory or what they're doing. I'm just expressing my own, true self's desires. And I just think there's a lot of people out there who are like me that feel that same way, that anything inside, corporate America, where you're working a job for someone else and just going and trading your time for money. I mean, I'm not technically trading my time for money. It's at least commission based, so I at least am rewarded exponentially for my time. Where, if you're just trading hour by hour, that's physical torture. That's actual, real. That's like someone pulling your fingernails out one by one. For me, personally, I don't enjoy that whatsoever. Hourly wage, even if it was $200 an hour, yeah, that would make the suffering substantially less, but it would still just be torture. So that's my little spiel for the day. Keeping the dream alive, driving forward, and just having the relentless, quiet, calm fortitude to just keep the ship going towards the same destination. There's been lots of stops, lots of, getting off course and going different directions, but I think that has ended, at least for me personally. It's been, what is it? I'm 31 right now, and I've had the same goal and intention in mind since I was 15. So whatever that is, 16 years of derailments and changes of course and everything, where just side quests and all sorts of stuff. But it doesn't matter how long it takes to get there. It just matters that you have a destination and you're heading towards it. It's all that matters. Without that, I don't know how I ever would have gotten through the original couple years of being paralyzed, the unrelenting pain, the constant complications and health issues, and all the negative coping and everything I did. I don't know how I ever could have gotten through that. I definitely could have never conquered all the different addictions that I've had in my life. I think the root of my addictive behavior was probably sugar. I think sugar was my first addiction. Sex and masturbation was my next addiction. And then I just graduated into substances because I was unhappy and, went through the ringer of all sorts of stuff at different times in my life. But I've never been like a true hopeless, unable to control myself addict because of this dream. I always had something that gave me self-worth and a reason to not do this. I couldn't accomplish what I wanted to accomplish if I just kept abusing whatever it was at the time, be it Oxycontin when I was a teenager, or alcohol when I was in my early 20s, or oxycodone again after I got paralyzed, Xanax at one point, whatever, cocaine, whatever it was that I was choosing to use in excess. I was always able to curb that pretty easily whenever it started to get a little bit out of control, because of this ultimate long-term goal that I had. And so I think I think more of us than would like to admit are actually the real root of our suffering is on some level being on the roller coaster of addiction. And most people's addiction at this point, if not to some sort of external substance, taking in some sort of substance of whatever, be it food, be it sugar, whatever it is, caffeine, to for some people I think that's a pretty safe one, but you could use it irresponsibly, I guess. I don't know. But the real addiction that everyone's suffering with now is the addiction to phones and to technology and to escapism. Just constant escapism. In my mind, the way that I use Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, it feels exactly like the autopilot that I would go on when I would take oxycodone. I mean, it just feels like the same, like kind of unaware, where I just open the pill bottle and pop a couple pills to escape the pain and the suffering that I'm in. Opening up that phone and scrolling through YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, it feels like the exact same beast inside you, or whatever it is that kind of just takes control, that neurocircuitry that takes control of your actions is exactly the same. And the only reason I'm able to resist Reels and Shorts and curb that addiction is for the exact same reason I was able to, curb, more serious addictions, is because I know it's a diversion. It's diverting me off the path, or I'm just stopped in the middle of the path, not moving forward, not going towards the destination. I'm at a standstill, or even regressing, kind of just going backwards away from it, because I'm just rotting my brain and mind and dopamine system with this just input of negativity and bullshit and whatever is on there now. So yeah, that's it. Gonna successfully sold a health plan this morning, which is always nice to start the day off making a little bit of money. It's hard to go in to work day after day and make nothing, so it's always sweet to know there's a little cash flow coming in. But definitely, need to have a good week this week. It's going to be hard with 4th of July week, so kind of going to be a bit of a loss there, but that's all right. It's going to be a super fun week. Got a bunch of plans for on the 3rd, we're going to go watch a fireworks show late at night. On the 4th, we're going to go to the beach hang out, get a tan, get some sunshine, maybe even surf a little bit, depending on what the waves look like and what beach we end up going to, because kind of got to choose a beach that I can wheel up, because if there's a drift and I end up, way down the beach, it's, you have to have a bit ambitious crew with, an ambitious and willing crew with you to get that done. And it's going to be hecticness at, normally I could just float, drift down until I get to another set of stairs or another beach access point. Could have someone drive down there with a wheelchair and meet me there. But it's going to be a little too hectic for that. There's going to be no parking, no easy way to do that, because it's going to be the beach in Florida on 4th of July. So probably scratch the surfing idea for the 4th of July itself, but depending on what work is looking like on the 5th, going to feel it out and see what everyone else is doing. If everyone else is going to work, I might work that day, but if not, going to hit the springs, go see some alligators, some otters, whatever else, some manatees, and hang out in some beautiful turquoise blue fresh Florida spring water. And then that's Friday, and then I'll probably wake up super early and go for a surf Saturday morning and get my surfing fix for the week. So it's got money's not everything. There's a lot more to life than that, so we're gonna have some fun this week as well, for sure. But not right now. I'm gonna go sell some health insurance. The only fun I get to have today is a little bicep workout. But I'll catch you guys later. Holy shit, it's hot in here. Oh, yeah. Oh, holy shit. Oh, no. Woo! That's it for today. Whew. Surprised me. Kind of freaked me out. Whew. That's it for today. Sorry, covering with my hand. Just a quick little bicep tricep workout. Not looking to, make any huge gains in one day. Just a little booster, middle work day, arm sesh, and back upstairs to sell some insurance.